Of the Bills and Broncos this weekend. What do you like for Josh Allen in this game?
I like Josh Allen for an anytime touchdown. Look, we saw him last week asking if he needs to be Superman. He can't help but to be Superman when he gets in that red zone. I like him to be running the football and scoring a touchdown because that's what Josh does best. Dual threat, can do it in the air or on the ground.
If nothing else, one of his linemen will pick him up and carry him into the end zone.
That's an easier way.
Absolutely beautiful.
How about Bo Nix on the other side? What's your favorite play for the Denver quarterback?
I like 210-plus passing yards. He's going to have Mims down the field, Franklin down the field. We'll probably see him run a little bit and expose some of the off coverage they play, which I think is going to open up opportunities down the field. I think they put it in his hands, and Bo Nix shows exactly what he's made of in the playoffs.
And then give me one more prop you like in this game.
James Cook, 15-plus yards receiving. All right, look, you're going against Patrick Surtain. You're going against Riley Moss. How do you take advantage of those guys? You don't. You give it to James Cook. You can't have too many cooks in the kitchen for Buffalo. And that's Brandon Cooks and James Cook. Give me 15 yards plus.
Looky, here comes Cookie. So if you like those picks, we've put them together as a parlay. It's Allen to score. It's Nix over 210. It's James Cook over 15 receiving yards. It's a parlay on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Look for Hitting the Mark, the featured parlay. The price is plus 525. Let's dive into this game with the group, and I want to take everyone back to our pre-show meeting today. I don't have a horse. I haven't had a horse in this race since October, so I'm kind of rooting for Josh Allen to finally get it done. And it seems to me like they have everything in the world stacked up against them. They're on a short week, Sunday to Saturday. The Broncos have an extra week of rest. The Bills lost 2 more receivers since their last game, and they were already short in that department. And Josh is playing with a foot and a finger and a knee, and he's just beaten to shreds. Everything in the world is lined up against them. I said that in the meeting, and you said
they're built to beat Denver. Buffalo is, and this was the best matchup that they could have gotten. Hawk just kind of intimated it too. So one, structurally, you don't want to throw the ball against those corners in Denver, Moss and Surtain. You want to attack the linebackers. No one plays more man coverage in the NFL than the Denver Broncos defense. No quarterback and no offense is better in the NFL than throwing the ball to their backs and tight ends than Buffalo. This is the perfect matchup for Buffalo, and what you're going to get is all these motions with Shakir. Josh eats throwing to tight ends and backs. He's as good, if not better, than any quarterback in the NFL. I think this is a advantageous matchup for the Buffalo offense versus Denver's defense, and it's the best one they could have gotten.
Styles make fights. Do you agree with that? Does the styles of these two teams favor the Bills to you?
It's hard for me to say because you look at the Jacksonville Jaguars, and clearly from a roster standpoint, they were much better than the Buffalo Bills last week. And every single throw that Josh Allen made when the receiver would catch the ball, there's no yak. It's a bang play. He's catching it, but that's exactly how Josh Allen needs to say to for exactly what Dan is saying. Is like you're going to take what the defense gives you, make quick decisions, get your checkdowns when you need to, and if you can get this game into the fourth quarter and Josh Allen has the ball in his hands with 2 minutes left in the game, I feel very confident that he's going to walk away going to the AFC Championship.
Me too.
Josh Allen's obviously Superman, but you look at he said like an average receiver core the entire year, and he loses 2 guys last week like they get sniped.
Right. Yeah.
Like this Buffalo Bills team is so desperate to get a wide receiver. I'm hearing rumors during commercial that there could be a visit of a potential receiver going out to Buffalo later today, and they're so desperate they might need a resurgence.
Okay. I like what you did there.
Hawk, come on.
Is there news?
Can you go out there and run a couple of routes for us this weekend?
You know what? I won't say that I can't.
I will.
Because my hamstrings will. Okay. You get what I'm saying? Because I don't have to say it verbally. There'll be a lot of other signs and cues to show you that I can't get it done.
I don't think you can.
That was brilliantly played. That said, do they have enough? I mean,
it's tough.
I don't want to sound like a fan here, but it feels to me like the Bills, they just keep dropping left and right, and at some point it's a battle of attrition. You've got Keon Coleman, you've got Khalil Shakir, you've got Brandon Cooks, who has been playing very well for them, but has been there like a month.
I think what they did last week is a little bit of the recipe you're going to see. When you see the defenses and how they play the Bills, they are watching the same tape that we're watching. The receiver play hasn't been anything to write home about. But even last week, you saw those corners get nosy, and it did create some opportunities down the field. You're going to have a heavy dose of James Cook, both in the run game and the pass game. But Josh Allen is going to have to play within himself. Like I caution against him trying to go be Superman, right, and trying to make plays that aren't there. Whereas, again, last week, and we'll see that in the receiver tape that we have, Keon Coleman made some plays down the field. Obviously, Brandon Cooks made plays down the field. You're going to see here, this is an out route from Brandon Cooks, and you see how this corner is playing. It's actually really, really well played, but they're being ultra aggressive. Here also is a shot down the field to Brandon Cooks because that corner is getting nosy on the tight end because they know what they like to do. Same with Keon Coleman. Nosy corner against the slot creates throws down the field. As long as they are taking those shots when those opportunities arise and not letting them placate and dictate how they're using their pass game, they'll have a shot.
Let me quickly ask my offensive lineman here, because you guys are smashing. There was a question up there a second ago. How much does the rest difference matter? And then I will factor in the altitude. Again, the Broncos got a bye, so they haven't played in 2 weeks. The Bills played a road game Sunday, turn around, play another road game Saturday. In the altitude, that feels to me like it's got to be a factor. Do you think it matters in this game?
I'm sure it does have some level of mattering when it comes to like just the experience of both quarterbacks that I look at. Sometimes if you're a younger quarterback and there's a level of maturity there, and Bo Nix, we know is the ultimate professional. He came in much more mature out of college than most guys. But when you have that break and you've had the success that the Denver Broncos have, you're not feeling the callus of the season wear on. And sometimes you have to have a little more of a callus than it blistering, taking a 1 week off. And I had to deal with that in 2021. We had we were the 1 seed in the AFC. We were riding high. Derrick Henry was coming back, and the Bengals took care of business against us at home. So there's a lot of pros and cons to having a bye week in the playoffs, but a lot of times you're going to hurt those teams because you kind of let off the gas a little bit. You're a little more comfortable. When you there's like, I believe there's such thing as too much recovery.
Sure.
When you recover too much, you start to feel good. You start to get in that off-season feel. The Epsom salt baths feel extra nice, and you go back into this war mode that the team's just coming from. It's going to be a lot different.
But I don't feel like they've been able to relax either. It's like the way they finished out their season against the Chargers and Chiefs. It's not like they played out of this world to where when they're watching tape, they're not comfortably like resting in like they're getting rest in the bye week, but they're not sitting there with this lax attitude because they know they got to come out with urgency against this Bills.
They're the 1 seed, Denver. There's so much, both by a tape perspective and if you're a numbers or stats person, that favors Buffalo. I've talked about it from the offensive perspective, that the matchups that they create, the Dawson, Knox, Kincaid, Cook, and Shakir, if they get 20 targets, this is advantageous for Buffalo's offense. What does Josh do against man coverage with his legs? He eats it alive. Denver plays a ton. You're going to see Josh take off 2 or 3 times per quarter, specifically in those huge downs. Who wins those matchups? Does Josh scramble for that first down? And then on the flip side, Bo Nix has been a roller coaster. He has been. Bo Nix, when you present zone defense to Bo, he gets into a little bit of a frantic pace. Buffalo is one of the best zone defenses in football. I would be shocked if Buffalo plays more than 5 snaps of man coverage. So there's a lot with respect to understanding that Denver's the 1 seed, no doubt. There's a lot that just from a matchup perspective, you sit there and if you watch these teams every week this year, you go, Buffalo should win this football game.
We're going to find out. It's pretty much dead even.
All right.
DraftKings. We're going to dive into it. We'll make picks as we continue. Meanwhile, coming up next, it's the big story of the day. It's the huge breaking news while you were sleeping.